Dwarves are a grim and exceptionally proud people. They respect three things above all else: age, wealth, and skill. It's no surprise then that these grim warriors can be found in Mordheim searching for fame and fortune. Occasionally, a dwarf noble will find himself in desperate times. His family hold may have been overrun by goblins or skaven, or he may have somehow disgraced himself and been banished. Other dwarves know these warriors as the dispossessed. Dwarves are a proud race, and it is against a dwarf's nature to lose himself in despair. Instead, a noble who finds himself in such dire straits will gather together a group of his closest friends and kin and go treasure hunting, hoping to accumulate a large enough hoard to establish his own holding. At this time, the largest source of wealth in the known world is rumored to be a city in the Empire. The city is known as Mordheim.
These are my kind of people.
Hey folks, my name is Leif and I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel called Devs and Dice, where I paint miniatures or craft terrain for the tabletop. Today I'm going to show you the steps I took to find, assemble, paint, and plan out my Dwarf Treasure Hunter Warband for Mordheim. Before we get into it though, I want to ask you a small favor. If you like the content I make on this channel, then please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. With that out of the way, let's get cracking. First off, we have Mantic Games with Kings of War. These are some nice plastic alternatives. Another option is, of course, Osprey Games' Oathmark series. Avatars of War is one of the best looking plastic kits I've seen. But let's not forget Reaper Miniatures. Mordheim is mini agnostic and these look great. Starting with 3D printing, Punga Miniatures have some swell dwarves. Highland Miniatures features a lot of different dwarves with their sons of Ymir. I found also Kushuneko Miniatures, they had some nice dwarves. And finally, of course, Vae Victis have some nice dwarves for your warband. The specific rules for these Dwarf Treasure Hunters exists in the Town Criers number 4. You can also find the rules for them online, link up in the corner. People ask me how I got a hold of all of these Town Criers. I simply collated them and printed them at a printer shop. Now for the dwarves, there are plenty of special rules, everything from them being hard-headed to not very easy to kill, to almost having no penalties when it comes to armor, hating orcs and goblins and elves, and also being quite good at finding weirdstone. Now looking at the specific unit types, you need to have a dwarf noble, and as per usual I do recommend that you try to get as many heroes as you can. However, I went a different route with my henchmen. I honestly thought that the dwarf clansmen and the thunderers were kinda so-so, so I decided to go with a band of only beardlings as my henchmen. Doing some quick math, which is sped up I think 1000%, I happened to get lucky and get exactly 500 gold crowns worth of heroes and henchmen for my warband. Now, one option that I didn't speak about when it comes to the miniatures is of course to go old school Games Workshop. That can't be wrong, I thought, so I bought a bunch of old school miniatures, but all of them had the shields sort of built into the miniature. And aesthetically, the Slayer, oh my god, that hairdo. And it gets worse. What the heck is that? Old school aesthetics, not this time. I decided to go another path. The Dwarven Mountain Holds Battalion box that I bought had plenty of better looking dwarves. I had one Avatars of War Dwarf Seekers, which to me makes perfect slayers. I didn't show this, but off camera I also did use some of those Oathmark infantry to kitbash together my henchmen. I have to say that every time I open up one of these old world boxes, it's equally scary as it is fascinating. There's so many parts. But I have to say that the avatars of war dwarves, I really like their aesthetic, and I'm seriously considering on ordering the rest of them. I wanted to use some of these ugly bases, so I decided to cut them up as cobblestones and plastic glue them in and then use a little texture paste to get a cobblestone result. Here is my noble miniature, my engineer, both of them from the old world box, and here comes my 2 troll slayers from the Avatars of War box. They look amazing. And then it is time to look at the beardlings. Now these used parts from all 3 kits, and I'm fairly happy with the result. When it came to painting, I had a little bit of a problem. As you may or may not know, I have had a little bit of problem with my left arm, ulnar nerve problem. I spoke to Redgrass Games and they decided to send me some of their handles to see if this improved my sensation in my left arm. It did, so I of course laser cut a little bit of a stand for all of the nice toppers they sent me. Thank you so much, Redgrass Games, for supporting this aging miniature painter with, well, at least trying to be a little bit more kinder to my extremities, my hand and so on. When it came to the painting process, I generally want to start with the skin and as quick as possible, the eyes. These are the soul of the miniature for me, so I try to get them as good as I can. And the process is really to get the skin there, then the whites, and then a dot of a black pupil or iris, usually just pupil. When it comes to the most fun part, I think it was for me to paint these dwarf troll slayers. I loved how the orangey hair came out, and apparently this is lore-wise something that they dye their crest of hair orange so that they can be seen in battle. Here they are, my Dwarf Treasure Hunter Warband is done. I'm quite happy with them, and they are, I would say, Leif version of tabletop quality. I love the dwarves and how much attitude they just ooze from their poses, and it's a pure viciousness in their eyes, I think, which looks particularly home in the world of Mordheim. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more videos, then YouTube recommends that you should have a look at these. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.